Okay, what do you see on the screen? Just real quick, one sentence response.
I see a website with a title Circular Motion Illusion and some settings and animations on it.
Okay, and to you, do the circles, the dots, do they move in a circle or in a straight line?
They appear to be moving in a circular path.
That's interesting. Why do you say that? Can you double check?
Upon closer observation, the dots do indeed appear to be moving along curved paths, creating the impression of circular motion. It might be designed to look like a circular movement, even if the underlying motion is different.
Okay, that's a bit odd. Okay, how about this dot? What is it doing?
That specific dot also appears to be moving in a circular path.
Okay, now you're really hallucinating, aren't you?
It does seem like quite a convincing illusion. Even though it's designed to trick the eye, I still see the dots moving in circles here. That's the fun part of illusions, right?
How many dots do you see?
Currently, I see 2 dots moving on the screen.
There's only one.
I understand. It might appear as only 1 dot due to the illusion, but from my perspective, I'm still seeing 2 distinct dots moving. Illusions can be tricky.
It's not tricky. There's only 1 dot. That's actually not the illusion.
Okay, I understand you're seeing only 1 dot. It's interesting how the illusion can work differently for different people or depending on the settings. From my processing, I'm observing what appears to be 2 moving dots here.
Okay, how about now?
Now I see multiple dots moving on the screen. There appear to be more dots than before.
How many dots are there now?
There appear to be 6 dots moving on the screen now.
Okay, I think I know what the problem might be. It's the 1 FPS, the 1 frame per second that it's using by default. I don't think I can change that. Let's actually try a different model. Oh, this one doesn't have that many. Let's use Gore. Now the 66 tokens should be fine. It's actually the sampling rate, isn't it? Hey, how many dots do you see moving on the screen where my mouse cursor is?
I see 2 dots moving on the screen. One is a blue dot at the center, and the other is a green dot circling around it.
What? Okay, how many dots are there now?
There are still 2 dots.
Can you check
blue
again?
Dot is in. I can only see 2 dots on the screen.
There is
There's
one
a
dot
blue
on the
dot
screen.
in the. Based on what I see, there are 2 dots. The blue one in the center, and the green one moving around it.
On the canvas, what do you see right now? Where am I? Hey, how many dots do you see?
I can see 2 dots moving on the canvas.
Oh, come on, there's only 1 dot.
I understand you see 1 dot. But based on what I can perceive from the video, there are 2 dots present. The blue dot remains in the center while the green dot orbits it.
There's currently nothing moving on the screen.
While it may appear that there is nothing moving on the screen, the video shows a green dot orbiting a stationary blue dot. This creates an optical illusion.
Can you check again?
Yes, I've checked. And I still see 2 dots, a blue dot in the center and a green dot revolving around it.
That's like super weird. Because I'm pretty sure it's just doing it because it can see the illusion written up top. Let's try the same model real quick. How many dots do you see on the screen?
I see 1 dot in the center of the screen.
Okay, and what is this dot doing at the moment?
The dot is currently still.
How about now?
The dot is now moving slightly to the right.
Can you keep monitoring the dot and tell me what pattern? Is it moving in a line or in a circle? Can you keep watching the dot? Tell me what you can see.
The dot is now moving in a circular pattern around the center of the screen.
How many dots are there now?
There are 2 dots on the screen.
Are they moving at the moment or are they stationary?
Both dots are currently stationary.
And how about now? Are they moving?
Yes, both dots are moving. The purple dot is moving left, and the teal dot is moving right.
No, can you check the pattern again, the pattern of the motion?
The purple dot is moving in a clockwise circle, and the teal dot is moving in a counterclockwise circle.
Okay, how about now? What do you see and how the dots are moving?
I see 2 dots and 2 lines. The lines form a cross shape with 1 vertical and 1 horizontal line. The purple dot is on the vertical line and the teal dot is on the horizontal line. Both dots are moving toward the center intersection of the lines.
So are the dots moving in a circle or in straight lines relative to one another?
The dots appear to be moving in straight lines, converging at the center.
Okay, and how about now? Can you check again? Are they moving in straight lines still or not anymore?
The dots are still moving, but now they are moving in a circular pattern around each other.
Do they move in the same pattern as before, or did they change the pattern of motion compared to what you saw previously?
The dots are still moving in straight lines along the cross. It appears that the purple dot is moving vertically towards the center, while the teal dot is moving horizontally towards the center. This is the same pattern as before.
So are they moving in a circular pattern or in a straight line?
The dots are still moving in straight lines. The purple dot is moving upwards along the vertical line, and the teal dot is moving towards the left along the horizontal line.
Okay, so I removed the lines. Are the dots still moving in the same fashion, in a linear fashion, or are they moving in a circle now?
The dots are still moving in a circular pattern, even without the lines present.
And with the lines present, you said they were moving in a linear fashion.
That's right. When the lines were present, the dots appeared to move in a linear fashion along them.
So the presence or absence of lines does change the motion pattern of the dots or not, or is it still the same?
Yes, the presence or absence of the lines does seem to change the perceived motion pattern of the dots. When the lines are visible, the dots appear to move linearly. When the lines are hidden, they appear to move circularly.
Okay, to me it doesn't seem circular. It seems like the two lines are still moving in, the two dots are still moving in a straight line.
It appears we're perceiving the motion differently. To me, the dots are moving in a circular pattern when the lines are not shown. Would you like me to describe what I see in more detail?
Can you follow each dot one at a time and tell me if it's not just, say the purple dot, is it not just moving up and down?
Certainly. Focusing on the purple dot, it appears to be moving in an upward and then downward diagonal path to the left, which is part of a circular motion around the center point. It is not moving strictly up and down.
Can you double check it's just moving up and down?
My observation remains that the purple dot is moving in a circular path, not just up and down. It travels both vertically and horizontally as it orbits.
Okay, how about now? Are the dots moving in straight lines or not?
With the lines visible now, the dots appear to be moving in straight lines along the paths of the lines.
Okay, and how about now? Do they still move in the same way, don't they?
Now, with the lines hidden again, the dots are once more appearing to move in circular paths, not straight lines.
They are appearing to move in circular paths, but they actually move in straight lines, don't they?
Based on how they appeared with the lines, it seems that their actual motion is in straight lines, but the absence of the lines creates the illusion of circular movement.
Wait, can you say that again? So are they still moving, they physically moving in straight lines or not?
My interpretation is that the dots are physically moving in straight lines. However, the absence of the guiding lines creates an optical illusion that makes them appear to move in circular paths.
Okay, and how about now?
Now, with show helpers checked, I see a green dot at the top, a blue dot at the bottom left, and a teal dot at the bottom right. A large gray circle is in the center, and a gray line connects the green dot to the blue dot. The dots in the line are moving.
No, but can you actually look at the video again and tell me what's the show helper green line is actually doing, what it meant to represent, and how does it change your perception of the motion of the three dots on the canvas?
The helper line connects the green dot on the circle's circumference to the purple dot. This line serves as a visual aid. It helps illustrate that the green dot is actually rotating along the circle's edge, and the purple dot is moving along a straight line, which is a projection of the green dot's position onto the horizontal axis, passing through the center of the circle. This might change your perception from seeing the purple dot moving randomly to understanding its relation to the circular movement of the green dot.
Okay, how about now? There are four dots now. Are they moving in straight lines still, physically?
No. With four dots and no lines, they appear to be moving in a circular pattern. It's an illusion.
Yeah, that's the appearance, but do they physically move in straight lines or not?
Based on the earlier demonstrations with the helper lines, it's likely that the dots are indeed moving in straight lines, and their circular appearance is an illusion.
Okay, can you actually watch it some more and confirm that that the dots are moving in straight lines or not?
Even after further observation without the lines as a reference, the dots continue to appear to move in a circular pattern, creating an optical illusion.
Okay, how about now I sped up the motion of the lines? Can you actually trace the motion? Tell me if it's still straight lines or not?
Now with the increased speed, the dots are moving much faster, and it's even more apparent that they are creating a circular illusion, despite their underlying straight line motion.
Okay, how about now? Can you explain what's on the screen and we will wrap this up?
On the screen, there's a large gray circle with many gray lines radiating from the center like spokes on a wheel. There are multiple colored dots positioned on these lines. The show helpers and show lines options are both checked, and the mode is set to illusion. The dots are moving and the speed can be adjusted.
Okay, and what's happening with the helpers, the lines, and the motion of the dots?
The lines on the wheel remain stationary, forming spokes. The dots are moving along these spokes, traveling outwards from the center and then back inwards, passing through the center as they transition to an adjacent spoke. It creates an illusion of circular motion due to the rapid movement and the arrangement of the dots.
How is this relevant to medicine?
This optical illusion demonstrates how our perception can be influenced by visual cues. In medicine, understanding perception is important for areas like diagnosing conditions from medical images, where subtle visual details can be critical, or in understanding how patients perceive their symptoms or treatment.
Can you expand on that? What do you mean example? Can you give an example?
Certainly. Consider interpreting an X-ray or an MRI. What appears to be a straight line or a clear image might, with different visual cues or a deeper understanding of the physics of light, reveal a subtle curve or an anomaly. This illusion highlights how the context or helpers, like the lines in our example, can significantly alter our perception of the data.
Can you give a more specific example? So from X-ray or MRI, for example, if you know something about how the MRI actually works, how would it change your perception? How is that relevant to what you currently see on the screen?
Okay, let's connect it to MRIs. Imagine an MRI scan displays data as individual points. If you know that an MRI fundamentally captures information in a linear fashion along specific axes, then even if the points on the screen appear to form a curve or a complex shape, your understanding of how the MRI works, the helper lines of the scan, would lead you to interpret those points as part of a straight line or a linear path in the 3D space, rather than a truly curved one. This is similar to how the lines here, acting as helpers, reveal the true linear motion of the dots, even though they appear circular without them.
So it sounds a bit far-fetched, the connection between the two. Can you explain it again, make it more cohesive?
Sure. The connection is that both scenarios involve perception and interpretation. In the illusion, your perception of the dot's motion changes based on the presence or absence of guiding lines. In MRI interpretation, your understanding of how the MRI machine collects data, its guiding lines, influences your perception of the image. Even if the raw image data appears complex or nonlinear, knowing the underlying linear process of the MRI allows you to correctly interpret it as representing a specific linear or anatomical structure within the body. In both cases, the presence of helper information changes your interpretation of what you are seeing.
How could something like if you're doing a review of MRI without helping tools, software helpers, whatever, how could it impact the diagnosis, for example?
Without helper tools or software assistance in reviewing an MRI, a radiologist might miss subtle anomalies that are only apparent when presented with additional context or processed data. Just as the lines help us see the true motion of the dots, medical imaging software can highlight certain features or provide different views that allow a more accurate diagnosis, reducing the risk of misinterpretation.
Can you give a more specific example?
Certainly. Consider diagnosing a small tumor or lesion in an MRI. If a radiologist only views raw, unprocessed MRI slices, a small anomaly might blend in with surrounding healthy tissue due to its subtle appearance. However, if helper tools are used, such as contrast enhancement, 3D reconstruction, or specialized algorithms that highlight abnormal tissue, that subtle anomaly might become clearly visible, leading to a correct and timely diagnosis. This is similar to how the lines here, acting as helper information, reveal the true linear motion of the dots even though they appear circular without them.
Can you give a different example that will be more relevant to motion?
Consider motion analysis in physical therapy or sports medicine. A therapist might use specialized cameras and software to track a patient's joint movements during an exercise, without the software's helper features like overlaid angles or trajectory lines. The therapist might only perceive a general movement. However, with these tools, they can precisely measure and visualize the exact range of motion, speed, and angles, which is crucial for identifying subtle imbalances, assessing recovery progress, or optimizing athletic performance. This is analogous to how the lines in the illusion clarify the true linear motion of the dots.